channel Cricket Meri Jaan. So, as the World Test Championship is coming, the final of the Test Championship is coming, we're gonna discuss about it. So, I would like to request Satyajit Da to start.
Cricket has been a worship in the summer sun. We have been playing cricket, seeing cricket, and even dreaming of it. And what a better time to come together to discuss cricket when it is the onset of the greatest of the tournaments of all, the World Test Championship, where the undisputed champions of Test cricket, the longest format of the game, is gonna be crowned. Along with us, we have Rishirup Chakraborty, Swarnashankha Acharjee, Sunirban and the host of this channel, Acharjee. So, to begin with, this tournament has seen 10 teams fight for 2 years to reach the ultimate final. We know the finalists now, India and New Zealand. If not these two, who else would have made it to the finals? What do you think, Rishi?
I definitely think if not India and New Zealand, it would have been definitely England and Australia, because the way they have played throughout the World Test Championship. England has shown great potential coming to India in the first test, though this series went to India because of their brilliant spin performance. But England won the first test and almost got us. They were almost on the verge of qualifying. And then Australia performed brilliantly. They defeated India comprehensively in the first test. And also throughout the whole session of the World Test Championship, they were brilliant. They also missed by whisker. So if not India and New Zealand, definitely would have been England and Australia.
Definitely would have loved to see an England versus Australia final in this Rose Bowl, but we know it's not. And this tournament, a newly conceptualized one, has given us many things to ponder about. A league system in cricket that is in international level has been the first of its kind. So, what are the positives that you take from this tournament, Shorno?
Okay, so this is the first time that kind of ICC event is for the test format, which is, we know that one of the oldest format to be precise. So that positives from it are people are more engaged to it. Then even if a situation comes where New Zealand plays Pakistan and the situation depends and the result of the series makes way for India into the finals or semi-finals, then the people from India will be watching the series of New Zealand versus Pakistan as well. It will attract more of the people in watching the game. And as the normal, and we know that ICC trophy holds more value than a normal bilateral trophy. So when the bilateral series lead up to ICC trophy, this is always more engaging. And we all wait for ICC trophies. We used to wait for World Cup and T20 World Cup. Now we'll be waiting for World Test Championship as well.
Yeah, Pranav pointed it out right that along with the viewership, the TRPs and the business associated with it, cricket gets a new life. But there has been some shortfalls. I guess the pointing system could have been better and some changes might have been incorporated. So if given a chance, Sunirban, what would you like to incorporate, add or subtract from the format that we have?
I would like to bring in a few changes, mainly to the pointing system. I don't completely agree with what the pointing system currently looks like. I feel that the visiting teams will get more points when they win a series abroad rather than the home teams. And I also want to see an importance on the weightage of the series. For example, if India defeats Australia or suppose say England, they should get more points if they defeat them rather than Bangladesh or West Indies or any weak opposition. So I feel that the series should be given more weight, and there should not be equal points for a win or a loss. And these are the few changes that I want to see. And apart from that, I think every team is playing the same number of matches, so there is no issue with that. So the points should be more on the opposition you defeat rather than anything.
Definitely. These are some welcome changes that might be included in the tournament
I
format.
I just like to add one thing in here that
Yes, sure.
by providing equal pointing system to all the series and all the matches, ICC is actually trying to keep all the members in a similar platform. They are not
Same
giving
bracket.
someone priority that this you are already a good team and you are not a good team. So that is one good side of the series. But yes, we know good side of the pointing system. But yes, we know defeating Australia defeating England is far more greater than India defeating Bangladesh. Far more tougher than India defeating Bangladesh, obviously. So there are pros and cons, but yes, ICC is keeping all the teams at a similar platform.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Basically, I want to add something.
few minutes back, Rishi pointed out. Yes, please, Orko, please.
So basically, this concept of equity should be there rather than the concept of equality. Basically, you can't compare a class 12 maths paper with a class 6 maths paper. So the concept of equity should come into play. Thank you.
Yeah. I hope these
Since
changes get incorporated. Yeah,
since
sure.
we are talking since we are talking of equity, equality, and the changes with this format, it would be preferable if all the test matches in everywhere across the world are played with a similar ball. We know the different balls being used in different countries for different test matches and so if ICC gives a single ball which is used for everywhere, which is used for every matches of the World Test Championship, that might bring in us equality. Now, it will take something away from the home advantages, but it will be the when you do a ICC tournament, it should be equal.
Definitely, Shona. The a home away system along with the uniformity in the balls are very welcome changes if the ICC ever decides to incorporate. Talking about the ball and also home brings me to the Southampton, the Rose Bowl. Here we have two finalists, two coming from very different natures. One coming from the subcontinental conditions, and other quite adapted to the English conditions. So, Orko, how do you think this Duke Ball and the Rose Bowl are gonna affect this match?
Yes. See, in the complete journey of this World Test Championship for India, they were like challenged by the New Zealand. Actually, there was no competition when India went to New Zealand. Like they were thrashed. So basically, these conditions in New Zealand are like little bit spongy bounce, lateral movement is there, the ball swings. So basically, English condition also offers the same thing. And talking about the ball, yes, there is no uniformity in the ball, and I completely agree with Shonoda that uniformity of ball should be there, and the Duke ball swings more compared to Kookaburra and SG Test. So basically, it will be challenge for the Indians. So let's see what happens.
Rishirup, do you think it's gonna affect the Indians more or the New Zealand?
I definitely think it would affect the Indians more because the New Zealand's are the Kiwis are more used to playing in such sort of conditions. It would affect the Indians. I believe the first session that India is going to play is going to be crucial. If the opener sustains through, then when the ball gets old, it's as you have seen in Southampton in quite recent times. When the ball gets old, it's easier to bat. So I think India will face some problems from the Kiwi pacers. They will have an added advantage given the overcast condition that is predicted and also the Duke ball.
Definitely. And this brings me to the teams. New Zealand and India both had fantastic journeys. India registering the Gabba win, the greatest perhaps in the Test history, according to ICE. Let's start with New Zealand. They have a very strong team. They have new players coming out, a very decent pace attack. So, Sunirban, what do you think is going to be the ideal combination for New Zealand?
See, New Zealand have a very decent team combination, have a very balanced attack. Whether in the batting lineup or in the bowling lineup, they have a very strong squad. And with the emergence of Devon Conway, they are betting most experience. Coming number 3 will be the skipper, Kane Williamson, and number 4 and 5 will be occupied by the high stand getter Ross Taylor and Henry Nichols. Henry Nichols has been a consistent performer for the Kiwis throughout the years. Number 6 is a bone of contention because there you have Tom Blundell and BJ Watling fighting for the spot. But I think BJ Watling, with his experience, will have the edge over Tom Blundell. Now coming at number 7, which is one of the most important positions in Test match because it is a place for a player which balances the. Now they have
all-rounder position.
All-rounder position. They have a few options. They have Mitchell Satner. They have that new pacer, Kyle Jamison.
Matt Henry.
Matt Henry, I think will come later, and they also have Daryl Mitchell and Colin de Grandhomme. So they have a few options coming at number 7. But I think since they need a spinner, so they might be opting Mitchell Satner. And coming at number 8, I think they will go with Kyle Jamison. He has been the New Zealand Cricketer of the Year, and he has a very good record against India. So I think he will occupy the number 8 positions. Now the tricky thing is definitely number 9 and number 10 will be occupied by Team Saudi and Trent Boult. Now with Matt Henry doing really well against England, he will be fighting for a place in the final, and he'll be fighting against Neil Wagner. Neil Wagner also has been a very constant performer for New Zealand. So I think it will be a toss-up between Neil Wagner and Matt Henry. I will leave it up to the New Zealand selectors.
So
that is my opinion.
So you think one spinner will be good enough for the team?
I think they have only 2 spinning options, Ajaz Patel and Mitchell Satner. So I think Ajaz Patel is quite new, and I think Mitchell Satner, if they play spinner, they will play only one spinner. I don't think they will play 2 spinners because Ajaz Patel and Mitchell Satner both are left off. So also that I think they will take him because they need one spinner in the middle to hold one and up. I think and with the record of Southampton, he's starting in the 3rd and 4th and 5th day, so Sadler can be lethal.
But actually in this in the ongoing test match between New Zealand and England, Patel is bowling quite well. So he might be in the contention for that spot against Mitchell Satner.
But I think Ajaz Patel is a number 11 batsman. If you are playing Ajaz Patel, then their batting will look weak because you can't have a 5 total of bowlers. It will be a long tail. From number 7, there will be bowlers coming at number 7 after 5th wicket. So it will be a long tail, and I think they will not compromise with the batting. Ajaz Patel may be a good off spinner, but if suppose Matt Henry or even Kyle Jamison coming at number 7, so the batting will look weak. So it will be a long tail. So I think Satner, and if Satner does not play, then I think they will play one extra. They can go with a 6 batsman because if you look Indian team, they have Ashwin and Jadeja also coming at 7 and 8. So India have a long batting lineup. So I think they also need to take care of their batting also.
So 2 lefties and a 4+1 combination in bowling. Orko and Rishi, do you differ, or you have some other players in mind, or do you agree with Sunirban? Sure. I'll start with Orko.
Basically, I agree with the
Orko?
fact that I agree with you. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
So I agree with the concept. Like, yes, I will differ on the concept of on this inclusion. I don't think BJ Watling will play. because I guess he's not in the form of his life, and I guess it is his last test series. So basically, I guess BJ Watling won't play, and I am making like I want Matt Henry to play in place of anywhere in place of Wagner. I want Matt Henry to play. So I completely agree with Sunirban and Shona.
Rishirup, do you differ anywhere, or are you in same line with them?
No, I'm absolutely in same line with them, but I have some points to make regarding. I'm quite confused about how the New Zealand team management will span out things. As Shunirvanda, Orko, and Swarno mentioned, the top six I think remains almost same. It's Latham, Conway, Williamson, Ross Taylor, Nichols, and I think Blundell will make it given the form and he's playing in recent times. So the doubt is regarding the seventh position. This is a position to be discussed. Like I think New Zealand might miss the trick of playing Santner. Santner can trouble the right-hand players, the right-handies that India has in maximum, and also in the fourth and fifth day the pitch will assist the spinners. But given the conditions that are overcast, that is predicted to be overcast, I think New Zealand might be tempted to play All India Granholm, and they might miss that trick, and it may be an advantage for India. Because ultimately Mitchell Santner, with the experience he have and the record he has against India, he might have been a better choice. And also after today's match, after the match that we had between England and New Zealand that is going on actually, I think Matt Henry now makes a decent point to be in the team. And I think he should replace Wagner, because Wagner, I didn't like his bowling in the first test. He was bowling too full. So I think Matt Henry should make the way.
Well, and coming to India, but before that, I want to point out New Zealand is missing an off spinner, I guess. In this field, Moeen Ali holds the record for most number of wickets in a match, 9 wickets versus India. So off spinner might be I don't think off spinner would be a better choice if available, but New Zealand don't have that option. So coming to India, is Shona saying something?
For test matches, having an off spinner in the team is almost kind of a necessity. I mean, like, yes, there are teams who have performed without off spinners, but off spinners are a good asset to have in the team. Most of the time, they will provide you with wickets.
And I would like to add something on Shonada's point that off spinner is like, now we need an off spinner because we are blessed with spinners in this generation like Ravichandran Ashwin, Nathan Lyon, and before that it was Graham Swan. So the common pattern we see in these bowlers is like they don't bowl the dusra. Like Harbhajan Singh, Sakleen Mushtaq, Muthaiya Muralidharan used to bowl the dusra, but they don't opt to bowl the dusra. And because of many criticism, and people say that even the ICC rules also say that some dusras which people like Saeed Ajmal used to bowl, it was illegal. So basically, taking that amount of wickets in this era for Ravichandran Ashwin, it is something which the whole cricket fraternity should appreciate. Like, it is not a small thing. Like he after Anil Kumble, or I guess I'll say Ravichandran Ashwin and Anil Kumble are the best bowlers, best match winners India ever produced in Test cricket.
That brings me down to Team India, an extremely large talent pool. A number of players who have time and again proved that each of them are match winners. A 7 superstar missing team goes and wins the Gabba with players who are merely 2 or 3 or even 1 test match old. So how do you think is the management going to shape up the team that will finally represent the Team India 11 in the finals? We have a very large talent pool, remember that. And all of them who have gone to the Southampton have proven themselves at some point of time in this course of 2 years. Let's start with the guy who is already wearing the Retro India jersey, Sharma. And I want Rishirup to add something to that. What's going to be the perfect 11 for you guys?
Okay, so starting off, I one player that I would have loved to see in bowling in Southampton in this overcast swinging condition is Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. We know what he is capable of. He's been brilliant in 2014 when India visited England. He was sensational. He bowled brilliantly. I'll miss him in the India team, but keeping that aside, let's if we to start with the openers. Mayank Agarwal is a good option, but he's been playing well as well. But I will choose Shubman Gill because he has performed in the recent past. He has performed well in Australia. So I will choose Shubman Gill along with Rohit Sharma. 3, 4, 5 is probably the most solid portion of the Indian team at this point, and almost is set. It's confirmed that this we are going to play Cheteshwar Pujara, Captain Kohli, and Ajinkya Rahane. For the 6, 7 position, I would love to see two spinners, basically considering them as all-rounders, Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin. And sorry, at 6, I would love to see Rishabh Pant, the wicket keeper. He's been sensational. He has been brilliant over the past few months. He did not start off well, but he turned it around. Then for 7 and 8, Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin. And 9, 10, 11, I'll go for Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, and Ishan Sharma. But somewhere I feel Mohammad Siraj might make a way. Somewhere I'm not sure if how the Indian team is going to choose or whether he will play or not. But there is as I feel like he might be playing. But if I have to choose, this will be my 11.
Very well. Rishirup, do you have
Yeah.
something in mind which is different from him? What
Yeah,
do
my
you think?
Yes, Shatendra. Yes, my team is almost similar to what Shauno has mentioned. Like there has been speculation about the opening pair. Rohit Sharma is a no-brainer, but with him it's Gill or Mayank Agarwal. Definitely, as Shauno said, Gill will be back because of his recent performances, and also as Rubai said, Orko said, because of his back foot playing ability. Like he cuts the ball and pulls the ball with close face of the bat. That is something I believe Rahul Dravid used to do in old days. So that is going to be a very important thing. And also rest of the team remains same. Up to number 8, Indian team is a no-brainer. It is going to be the same. Only I would differ in the last 3, the pieces that I'm going to take. I think Mohammad Siraj is going to make a way. That is an unpopular opinion, but I think Mohammad Siraj is making a way because of his natural in swinger to the right hander, which also will be also the ball will go away from the left handers too, given the fact that New Zealand has 3 lefties. So I think Siraj will make a way, and Ishant Sharma will be back because of his previous performance in England and also his overall performance in the WCTs. He has been brilliant, and also Bumrah stays there. I think Shami is going to miss out. That's unfortunate, but maybe Indian team will go with Shami and not Siraj. But I would like to see Mohammad Siraj because we remember what he did in Gabba, right? He just came in and shocked the world. They took a 5 here. We want to see more of this guy, and that is it. I think this is going to be the 11 for India.
Actually, I won't be surprised if I see a 4+1 combination. But in 4+1 combination, I'm not sure uh, whom selectors will play and who will sit out. But I'd like to see the two spinners.
A 3+2 combo from our end. Orko, do you care to weigh in? What do you think is going to be the combination?
See, I would like to know the mindset of the management, what they are thinking. As Shonoda mentioned about Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, I also strongly believe that Bhuvaneshwar Kumar should have been there because in English conditions we need a swing bowler, and basically the bowlers we have all are hit the deck bowlers. Bumrah beat Ishan Sharma beat Mohammad Shami. Yes, Shami represents a good seam position, but still he is not a completely a swing bowler. So the only bowler left in the squad is Umesh Yadav, who is not that consistent that we can like say that he will play. So basically, what is the mindset? I feel that yes, Mohammad Shami, Bumrah, and Ishan Sharma will play. And I want to know whether, like, we are not talking about Hanuma Vihari. Basically, we are talking about Ravindra Jadeja only. So I want to know that whether the management is thinking that yes, are we seeing Jadeja as a all-rounder who is a batsman who, and if we want him, he can bowl also, or they are seeing that no, we are seeing Jadeja as a complete batsman. I feel that they must see Jadeja as a complete batsman rather than saying that yes, he can bowl also. That will like see seven batsmen we need in overseas condition. Though if it's like the theory which Ganguly gave to us. So basically, I believe in that theory.
Yeah.
But actually, I
So
feel like
4+1 combo.
in English conditions where the ball, where Ravindra Jadeja will be a tricky spinner because some balls will come in the arm and some ball will turn away. The batsman will be confused whether the ball will come in or whether the ball will turn, and if it turns, Jadeja is a very tricky bowler. But one thing, one thing India is the service of a left-hand pacer. I always love to see a left-hand pacer running in and swinging the ball. That's one point where India is lacking.
Also to add on, Ravindra Jadeja, as Orko said, like he should be played as a batsman rather than a bowling all-rounder or an all-rounder. But I believe Jadeja will be played as a match winner, because if it comes to a situation where India needs to score like 200 runs in the last session or last two sessions, it's only Jadeja and Rishabh Pant, two of those players who can pull it off. So I believe Jadeja will be the match winner if India needs to win this, or a key player.
Right. And on one side, so we have a 4+1 combo, and on other 3+2. We have some tricky battles that will go within the war. We have Rohit versus Team Saudi. We have Williamson versus Ashwin. So, Orgo, what do you think are gonna be the key battles to watch out for?
So basically, there is a discussion that there will be a battle between Bolt and Rohit Sharma. I feel having seen the performance of Matt Henry in this particular test match against England, I feel that Matt Henry will make it to the 11. And Matt, if you see the history of India versus New Zealand from post 2015, in 2018 when India went to New Zealand to play the ODIs, so that time Matt Henry troubled Rohit Sharma. He almost dismissed him. Even in 2019 World Cup, he dismissed Rohit Sharma. So basically, he is a bowler who can swing the ball both ways. So I think more than Bolt, yes, Bolt will start with the new ball. More than Bolt, Matt Henry might be a problem for Rohit Sharma. But the thing is that if Bolt is coming with the new ball, and if Rohit Sharma plays that new ball session, after that Matt Henry also can't make him out. So that is like the contradiction. And again, Virat Kohli versus Saudi, because Anderson has troubled him, and Saudi and Anderson, I guess they have the same pace, and it's like they are same kind of bowlers. From middle stump they can do the in swinger and the out swinger. So basically these are the battle. And if Wagner plays, then Wagner versus Pujara, because Wagner loves to bowl the short balls and Pujara always faces some difficulties playing the short.
Now, that brings me to the most interesting part, the predictions part. So, let's start with Rishi. Who do you think is going to be the highest run scorer?
For me, I
Who do
think
you
it's
think is
going to
going
be
to be the
Rishabh
highest run
Pant.
scorer for both the teams?
Okay, so for India, it's definitely Rishabh Pant, because the kind of form he has been in, and also I saw a few videos in Instagram page of Indian cricket team. The way he was hitting the ball in the practice matches, it's quite unbelievable, and it's great to see him keeping the form he was in WCT. And from New Zealand, I think an unpopular opinion, Ross Taylor might be the highest run scorer, because when it comes to big matches, Ross Taylor is a massive guy.
Shorno, who do you think will be? Rishabh Pant or someone else?
I would like to see runs from Cheteshwar Pujara. Obviously, from everyone, but I feel like Cheteshwar Pujara will be a key player in the batting lineup for India. His runs will he needs to stay up there. He needs to stay for a long time, and we have seen the partnership of Pujara and Rishabh Pant to be very effective for India, just like fire and ice together. So I'd love to see Pujara get big runs. And from the New Zealand side, I would have loved to go for Kane Williamson, but yes, Ross Taylor has got experience under his belt. He's he's played a very good innings today itself. So Ross Taylor might be my pick for the New Zealand side as well.
So two for Ross Taylor, one for Pujara, one for Pant. Sunirban, what's your call?
Actually, I feel that in a big match like the final, if you need to win the final, then I think the openers are very key. So I hope that Rohit Sharma and Shubman will seize off the new ball, because if they don't, then they can just steamroll through the batting line. So I want them to play, but I am not sure whether they will be able to do that. My bet is on again Rishabh Pant. He has been the man in form for India, and if he faces say around 100 balls, then we can change the scenario of the match a few within a few overs. So I think from India, Rishabh Pant will be the key, and from New Zealand's perspective, we have seen how good Devon Conway has been. It's very difficult to get him
Well,
out. He's so he's so solid. He has such a good basic. It's very difficult to get him out. He hardly plays any bad rash shot. So I think India needs to get him out quickly. Otherwise, he can make a lose. So I think Devon Conway. I hope he doesn't play well, but I think with the form he is in, he might be a guy.
no one was a devil to be well. Well, Conway and Pant from Shrivan's side. Orko, what's your call?
So we are missing the king from Melbourne. We are missing Ajinkya Rahane. So basically, I want Ajinkya Rahane to play well, because the I guess number 5 position in Test cricket is the hardest position, because here comes the reacting game. You can't like set the target. You have to just react with the situation. So basically, this becomes very important. And Ajinkya Rahane has been a proven match winner. If you have seen his record in 2014, centuries in Australia, centuries in England. He was someone. He's a rare cricketer who he struggles in Indian conditions and performs well in other
Yeah,
non-subcontinental
exactly.
conditions. So basically, I guess Ajinkya Rahane would be the trump card which India should use. And from the New Zealand's perspective, I guess Kane Williamson, because he's the best player.
Well, I would like to put my weight behind the captain, Virat Kohli, because he's a big man player. This big match player has not played very well in the tournament because he's not in top 10. And for him, not being in top 10 is a big thing. And I feel he will try to erase that record in the final and carry on the team to the victory. And this brings me to the bowling part. In tests, when your all aspects are challenged, the bowlers play the most crucial role. Take the 20 wickets, you have won the game half. And we have some pretty good bowlers. Why not? The biggest names, the highest figures, all are lined up in these two teams. Keeping aside Pat Cummins, we have Tim Southee, we have Bumrah, we have Ashwin, all big names. So who do you think is gonna be the best of the lot from India's perspective and from New Zealand's? My pick is Ashwin. So what will be yours, Arko?
So my pick will be Ishan Sharma, because he has played 100 Test matches. He is the most experienced bowler of the Indian cricket team. If we see the Test matches, and for the New Zealand side, I guess I guess it would be Trent Bolt. Okay, I'll go with Trent Bolt.
What will be your call, Sunirban?
Actually, first of all, I want to say that India is very privileged to have three quality fast bowlers playing at the same time. I think all of them are capable of winning new matches. For me, I think Jasprit Bumrah, he has been the Virat Kohli's go-to man. Whenever India needs wicket, Virat Kohli goes to Jasprit Bumrah. So Jasprit Bumrah is one guy, I think from India's perspective, And if you look into New Zealand's bowling, I think all of them are very good bowlers. But I think Trent Bolt, with the new ball, he can trouble the batsman, especially the ball which comes back into the pad. It has troubled Rohit Sharma and all other players. Even Sachin Tendulkar, when Trent Bolt came to the scene, he has bowled Sachin Tendulkar in his first test against India. So Trent Bolt is one of the key bowlers for
Most lethal.
India. So these are
So, thank you, Shrivan. Who's your pick, Shona?
I will. I love off spinners. I love off spinners. So I will go for
I find
Ravichandran
on
Ashwin. I'll go for Ravichandran Ashwin. He's the leading wicket taker for India and might end up as the leading wicket taker in the world if we for WTC. So I will go for Ashwin from India and from New Zealand. Uh, Even though I don't want him to take wickets, but if when I have to choose, I will choose Matt Henry.
Matt Henry is his call. And lastly, Rishi.
I think Jadeja is having the time of his life. I would go for Ravindra Jadeja. I think he is going to come down in between and strike 2 or 3. He is going to be the leading wicket taker from India, as per my perspective. And from New Zealand, I think it's going to be Saudi, but I don't want it to be Saudi because if Saudi strikes, he's going to run down our opening orders and the top order basically. So I don't want Saudi, but it seems it will be Saudi, or if not Saudi, if India can sustain Team Saudi and Trent Bolt, then I think it's going to be Kylie Jamieson because they are going to attack Kylie Jamieson or an Wagner or a Matt Henry, and they might be giving away some wickets to Jamieson. So yeah.
I would like to add
And
something with Rishita. Like in 2014, when in the famous Lord's Test match where Ishant Sharma took 7 wickets, Ravindra Jadeja was the man who scored 50 in the second innings, and it was an attacking 50. It was one of the best innings I've ever watched. So basically, with Pant and Jadeja, I completely agree with Rishita that yes, they will be the most important players for the Indian cricket.
That brings me to the most valuable player of this match. May it be New Zealand, may it be England. If you are given the choice to pick just one, who would be your call? Just names. I'll move with Shona.
I mean, for the final, I feel one of the most crucial point is Virat Kohli's captaincy. I would go for Virat Kohli and his captaincy.
Definitely. Rishi?
I think Rishabh Pant is going to win it for us because the way he has struck in the practice matches, the way he has been throughout the whole tournament, and he just plays a fearless brand of cricket. Like the way he takes on the game to the opposition, it's definitely going to be Rishabh Pant who is going to win it for us. That's what I think.
Shrivan, do you agree? Or you have someone else in mind?
I have someone else in mind. I feel that, as Rishi told earlier, Ravindra Jadeja will be India's key player. I think he contributes in the three fields, both batting and bowling, and his presence in the field also boosts the morale of the side. When he is there in the field, there is something happening every time. So I think Ravindra Jadeja will be India's key performer.
Orko?
I
Do
feel
you differ?
I feel it should be Rohit Sharma because if he starts well,
I knew that.
if he starts well, then like the work for the team members will become easy. And I guess if he plays a big knock, then we'll definitely win the World Test Championship. So Shotoda, who is your pick?
For me, always, the captaincy has been the most crucial aspect in a game. The captain has to see the match at least 3 or 4 overs forward. He has to decide and take calls. He has to carry the weight forward. And he is the one to whom everyone looks forward to when the crisis demands the role of a leader. So for me, it's always Virat Kohli because the captain has to play the most crucial role in determining the fate of the team. I sincerely hope India wins this match because this is the inaugural tournament, and I don't think anything can be more bigger than this because Test cricket is the most difficult form of this game. I think we all will agree to that because this demands most labor,
Definitely.
and here just blind hitting, just some fancy shots, some 360-degree shots don't matter at all. It's the test of the best. So I feel Virat Kohli will lead his team to the cup. With
So
that,
basically, I
I
want to
believe
add something here, Dada. I want to ask you all a simple question that, like Virat Kohli, which captaincy style should Virat Kohli follow? Basically, he has too many leaders with him, like Ajinkya Rahane, Ravichandran Ashwin, even Rohit Sharma. They have great cricketing minds. So should it be a collective effort, or should it be like no, Virat Kohli will do all the things, or what should be the what should be the strategy?
in
I
recent
think
days it has always been the collective effort. It has always been the collective effort. We have always seen Virat Kohli consulting to Rohit Sharma now and then and to Ajinkya Rahane. So I feel collective effort and aggressive attitude as always will be the key.
Yes, Shonada?
I feel like Virat Kohli has his own very own unique style of captaincy, a very aggressive and that's something very unique of his. So yes, he consults with everyone, but he I don't think he will adapt to anybody's style or he will change his style or something of that sort. He will go on with his style of captaincy, and it has worked wonder in Test cricket especially. We are in the finals, so I think he should go on with his captaincy.
Okay. So, Sunirban, you want to add something?
Actually, I feel that cricket is basically a team game. So whenever you see that India is struggling, you see the other senior players like Rohit Sharma or Ajinkya Rahane or Ravi Ashwin coming to Virat Kohli, and they collectively make a decision. But the most of the decisions, the important decisions, Virat Kohli takes it, and that's why he has been successful. You may criticize him for his captaincy in ODIs or T20s, but when it comes to Test cricket, and Virat Kohli's record speaks for itself. So he has been a
Absolutely.
very good,
He's the best captain.
very good
Best captain.
captain, and yeah. So far, if you look at his records, he has been the most successful captain, and I think Virat knows how to win matches.
So, Rishirup, you want to say something in this regard?
Yes, I think Virat Kohli should go and play and captain the team in the brand he does, that is aggression. Because I remember when Dhoni left the captaincy in 2014 in Australia tour, and Virat got the team. India lost the series, but the way Virat showed he could fight, the Dada brand of captaincy, to be honest,
Exactly.
the aggressive brand. Even if we lose, we are going to go for it. That kind of mentality needs to persist, and yes, he needs to take consultations from the senior members of the team, because ultimately at such a grand stage there is going to be pressure. So that man alone, I think, shouldn't take all the burden. But yes, they should go for the aggression.
So this brings me to the conclusion of this session. And in the concluding part, the most important question: who's gonna lift the trophy? Who is gonna be the ultimate winner? Who is gonna be the best in this strenuous 2-year long tournament? Let's start with Shuniban.
I will go with India. I pick India because they have been the best team in the World Test Championship, and I truly believe they deserve it. And I think Virat Kohli will have the last laugh in South Africa. So my
So
pick
one
is
in
India.
favor of yes. So one in favor of India. Shono, what do you think? Who is gonna be the ultimate winner?
Being an Indian cricket team fan, we always want India to win. But somewhere New Zealand have played already two tests in England, and seeming conditions favor New Zealand more. So heart says India, brain says New Zealand.
So one in favor of India, one in New Zealand. This brings me to Rishi.
It's a tough call, definitely, the way New Zealand have been playing, but I will go with India. I think India is going to pull it. There are two key players, as we mentioned in the session, Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja. I think they are going to win it for us. Pant winning with it with the six will be the most beautiful thing. So let's hope for the best.
So Rishi always rooting for Pant. He has been doing this in the whole session. So two now in favor of India and one for New Zealand. And finally brings me to Dubai. Orko Prabhu, what's your call?
See, I guess we are thinking that New Zealand is like more adapted to this type of conditions, but at this
Definitely.
level, the Indian, if we see the whole Indian team, uh, I don't think there are any technical flaws in that. It's all about the mental game. So my heart and brain is telling that India will win.
3-1 in favor of India. But it's not done yet because you all have not yet weighed in. So you know what to win. Go and hit the comment section. Tell us who is gonna be the winner, who is gonna be the most valuable player of the match, who is gonna score the most runs, and who is gonna take the most bills. So please do like, share, and subscribe. And let us know what you feel about the session, what are the changes we would have done, and what things we could have incorporated, what things we could have discussed, so that we can soon come back with a new session and discuss on a lot more of cricketing stuff. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, everyone.